Can you hear me now? Man, the mic wasn't on. Thank you, Camille. Welcome. Oh my goodness, the volume. All right, here we go again. Queen is staring at me. I think she wants to sit in my lap. Do you want to sit in my lap, Queen? You know what? I'll wait for you to come to me. That's how we'll work. We'll work together like that. It's on now? Is it on now? Yes? I see you put yes. Okay, you can hear me. All right. Jason in the chat. Much love. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Here Now Live number 42. 42. We're going strong. For anyone new here, watching the recording, on the live, my name is Morcie. I'm here to empower you on your transformation journey, your spiritual awakening, and act as a guide in encouraging you to remain rooted in being. I'm here as a spiritual teacher, a spiritual life coach, ultimately a guide. This right here is Here Now Live. It's a space where we deepen our present moment awareness. A space where we understand what it means to be present, to be here. To no longer be chained to the conditioned patterns that lead to reactivity, that lead to unhappiness, as well as getting lost in thought. Queen. This kitty cat. Cats are so smart. She knows that my back is turned and I'm not looking at her. I've clearly spoiled her way too much. Queen, it's not time for your snack. Come up here. Here. Okay. Peace and love to the chat. Peace and love to the chat. A couple updates. If you have not received your Peaceful Pauses ebook, be sure to download that. The link is down below in the description. It is a powerful ebook with practices that encourage you to pause peacefully throughout your day-to-day. Peaceful pauses are brief, intentional moments of calm, alert, awareness, space, pure awareness, pure consciousness. No longer absorbed in the stream of thinking, no longer attached to labels, narratives, just awareness. Check that book out. It's fire. Also, we have got an amazing meditation course coming up, y'all. A couple updates on the course. I know I mentioned I'd be in nature in them. I won't be, but the course is still amazing. Not only are there 7 guided meditations, but there are 7 inspirational messages that align with those meditations that prepare you to remain relaxed in the moment, improving your focus and your mental and emotional awareness, improving your ability to notice thought, observe thought, without feeling the need to get caught up in it, without feeling the need to believe the first thought that comes to mind. Powerful. Now, pre-orders are open. I'd like to let you all know as an update that when you pre-order, you will receive 20% off the original price, as well as an exclusive guided meditation on deepening into inner stillness. It's a powerful meditation that will prepare you for the course. So I highly suggest, come here, Bubs. I highly suggest that you secure your spot and also get that discounted price and exclusive guided meditation. This is a powerful journey, an amazing journey. It has been one for myself, just me facilitating it and instructing it. And I'm so grateful to be able to share it with the world, truly. I'm grateful that Queen's tail just smacked me. I'm grateful that Peaceful Pauses chose me as its channel to materialize in this world. And I'm grateful that it can be received by all of you. So check out Peaceful Pauses today. The link is in the description. You can learn more about the course. Peace, love, wholeness. Jason, very enlightening read. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Bubs, she knows what she's doing. Queenie Bean. I know, Bippy. Either on the pillow or just not the desk. Queen. There we go. All right. Well, how's everyone feeling today? How is everyone feeling today? I'm checking in right now. Check in, wherever you are, check in. Take a moment to be here. Scan your inner body. How are you feeling today? Or how's your day been? I can feel my body. It's pretty sore from practicing yoga. I've been having some amazing yoga sessions. Oh my God, I think I got Queen's fur. Queenie Bean. Bubs. Cat life. Yeah, body feeling pretty sore, but I'm here, rested. Grateful, remaining here in the moment, aware of thoughts and emotions, allowing emotions to rise and fall, allowing them to be expressed and experienced. The human experience is such an interesting experience, to say the least. That's what we're here for, right? Learning more about the human experience in many ways. But yeah, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the challenges that come my way. I'm grateful for the ability to transmute this energy and have them no longer be challenges, but have them be tools, a part of this journey we call life. Yeah, cheers to that. Jason, exhausted but grateful because I finally moved into a new place. Congratulations, Jason. New beginnings. I remember you mentioning we had a live and we were chatting about changes and transitioning. So it's grateful to hear that you've moved into a new place. Moving is quite exhausting, I must say. It is quite exhausting, so I can understand that. Much gratitude. Keep us updated. Camille, very, very interesting day. I can sense my built up emotions and I've been managing them in positive manners. That's what it's all about, Camille. That is what it's all about. You're doing a great job. I can definitely relate to that. Emotions, they're signals. Sometimes we may not know what to do or how to manage them, but when we come into a space like this, we expand our awareness and become more accepting around our emotions. So cheers to that, Camille. Make sure you thank yourself for being present with yourself, being present with strong emotions. That is a journey and the destination. The journey and the destination. Give me a moment. Today's topic is all about maybe not finding comfort, but being okay with not knowing. Being okay with not knowing, right? Finding peace in the unknown. I've also, in the community section, I put a couple survey questions up. So if you've been answering those, thanks. It's been quite fun seeing where everyone's at, their point of view on life and the way they manage their day-to-day. So thanks for participating in that. I think it's fun. Those are questions that I love to answer. So that's why I do them. And also, it's a great way to assess your current state and to determine if you'd, like to give more awareness to certain areas of your life. And yeah, so thanks for that. Uncertainty, it definitely can be scary at times, especially when we're not used to just being in space. When I say space, I just mean just being without constantly being absorbed in thought. Our mind is so used to bringing in information. It's so used to being stimulated. It's so used to knowing. And often when we're in a place of uncertainty, it's a place where there are no identities. There are no labels. And that space can feel intimidating. In fact, in that space, the ego is no more, right? When I share and talk about ego, I'm referring to the aspect of the mind that believes it is separate from the whole. It believes that it is separate. And so often when we get too absorbed in thought, we start to believe that we're separate from life. We start to fear, no longer trusting in the ebb and flow of life, losing our ground, no longer grounded in presence. So much fear. Way too attached to and absorbed in form. So it's understandable. This is, I find, when it comes to the awakening process. In the awakening process, we awaken to how would I describe this? Let's see if I can get my words together here. It's the awareness that we already are. We are awakening to the fact that we are already enlightened. We already, in many ways, know the answer. Sometimes the answer that is necessary is being okay in uncertainty. You're feeling uncertain, just be okay with it. In moments when you find that you're simply okay with being uncertain, okay with not knowing what's next, there is a subtle peace there. It begins to be subtle, and the more you are okay with it, it becomes very obvious, right? It's all about aligning with the moment. Any way that you can align, then there's an acceptance, right? It's not about the uncertainty. It's not about shifting from certainty to uncertainty, from uncertainty to certainty, right? In order to make us feel better, in order to be more present in the moment. It's not always about that, right? Because then ultimately we will always be chasing for certainty, we'll always be chasing for knowing, and therefore we'll find ourselves very overstimulated. We'll find ourselves falling and absorbing into thought, believing the first thought that comes to mind. There is not enough awareness of the formless, right? So when I say form and formless, this is also something that I share. Queenie Bean. This is also something that I share in the course I dive into. Form and formless. Form is our thoughts, their emotions. Form is our physical body. Form are the physical objects and things around us. And then the formless is this realm of space consciousness in which all events happen. Presence. Pure consciousness. And the more present we are, we recognize that that is our truest essence. If ever you hear oneness, right? That's what it means. Space consciousness. You are the space consciousness in which all events, all the happenings, that's where they are. That is the I am. And often the ego will never, ever, ever understand that, because that is not something to be understood with the mind. This is a knowing. This is an awakening. This is an awareness. And that is beyond the mind. And this is why when we are unaware of that, when we lose sight of that, no longer rooted in being, we feel that separateness. Ego. And so often when uncertainty comes, that fear is the dissolving of ego. Remember that quote I shared with you all? When the ego weeps for what it has lost, spirit rejoices for what it has found. When the ego weeps for what it has lost, spirit rejoices for what it has found. That pain that we feel, that is not our true essence. That is the ego dissolving. Specifically when I chat about uncertainty, specifically when I chat about the fear around it, that is the dissolving of the ego, that pain. The fear that arises, that is of the ego, because there's nothing to attach to. There's no identity. When we chat about pain and no longer identifying with past experiences, this is very scary to others. Because if they cannot identify with their pain, then who are they? We see this often online especially. So many individuals using their pain as a way to feel entitled or superior to others. You take away that pain, you take away that identification with the past, that identification with past experiences, they won't know who they are. Sometimes when you ask yourself the question, who am I? Not sometimes. When you ask yourself the question, who am I? That's a great place to be. Space. No longer identified or attached. There's openness, expansiveness. There's room for awareness. And so often when you find your place, yourself in a place of uncertainty, that is an optimal place to be. That is an optimal place to be. You ask yourself, who am I? What am I doing? You allow yourself to be in that space. Just be there. No expectations of what arises. Just be there. And allow yourself to find a sense of solace in that. A sense of peace and just being okay with not knowing, because we're not going to know all the time. That's just a part of life. Certainty and uncertainty. Those are inevitable counterparts. They come with one another. In some moments we're going to know, and some moments we won't know. An aspect of awakening is embracing both. Embrace the certainty, embrace the uncertainty. When you dive deep into inner stillness, you become aware of both form and formless. Awareness of space consciousness. I've shared this once before. I'll share it again. I don't share it as often, I realize, but I had a very profound experience last year. I was in my mom's room. We were watching tennis, and I found myself incredibly relaxed. Just relaxed. And all of a sudden, I had a shift in consciousness. I was the space in which all happenings, all events were happening. I was aware of myself as this body. There were thoughts arising, but they were in the background. I recognized that I was the TV. I was the tennis players on the television. I was my mother. I was the space. I was all objects, all things. In fact, I almost felt like I could see around the corner. I was there, completely sober, by the way. Sober. In case anyone's like, did you have any plant medicine? None whatsoever. Not even a couple days before or after. None of that. It was purely there, pure consciousness, presence, pure awareness, shift in consciousness. The recognition of oneness. And that state of consciousness, it stayed for about, I would say, a day and a half. And I remember being in the car with my mom, and we were driving, and someone did something on the road. I forgot. I think they would like cut in front of my mom's car. But because how do I describe this? In that moment, I recognized that I was everything. I was the car too. There was no resistance. It showed me how resistance is the root of our unhappiness, of our lack of fulfillment. Even though that car may have cut off my mom's car, because there was no resistance to that happening, there was presence. There was still contentment. And since then, I step into small shifts that mirror that. It hasn't been as intense as that. And I made sure that I didn't hold on to that experience, but I use it as an example in moments whenever I fall so deeply, too deeply into thought. Because that can happen. I think we're very used to, I'm going to speak for myself and say, as my, one may say, third eye was opening, or as I was on my awakening process, I was learning how to explain my experiences, learning how to communicate them, share them with clarity, There's a difference between teaching and learning, and teaching's a whole nother ballpark. So finding the words to explain my experience, and I recognize that many of the teachers that I so much admired, their experiences of awakening were not like my own. They had very sudden shifts in consciousness due to deep, deep suffering. It was just their ego dissolved. They didn't return back to it. At least that was their story. I recognize for myself that is not my experience, and I find that the majority of the world, that is not everyone else's experiences. We may have subtle shifts in awakening. It's not all of a sudden. And perhaps we do have a moment where we shift into the knowing, right? I try not to use the word experience, because an experience, when I think of the word experience, it means that it is ever changing. But the shift in consciousness that I had was unchanging. It was timeless. In that space, I did not feel like I needed anything. I didn't feel like I desired everything. Everything was here. The moment was enough. There was no desire, those humanly, earthly desires that we want so bad when we're setting goals. It did not exist in that state of consciousness. But it did settle. And I now experience small bits of it. And it begins to expand, especially the more that I teach. Teaching has been awakening for me. It's awakened the essence within me. So I have small gaps of it. It returns and returns and returns. So ultimately, I wanted to share that experience or that shift in consciousness with y'all. To share that it's important to honor where you are right now. Each of us are in our own very unique aspect of our journey. It's the point where we're supposed to be. And many times as a teacher, I receive questions where there are many who desire enlightenment. And I can see from the point of view of the aspect of the mind that finds that it's separate, why there is a desire there. But it's to remember that we are already that I am. We are already enlightened. We are already whole. We are already complete. This is the formless dimension. Now, in the dimension of form, we will always be changing, right? So the formless dimension is pure consciousness, space consciousness, in which all events happen. That's the formlessness. That's presence. Form is what it sounds like. Our thoughts and our emotions. To the mind, it might be like, what do you mean that's form? It seems kind of formless. It's form. It's form. And anything where the mind finds that it can like attach to and find identity in, and that's ultimately what it is. And so when we begin to recognize that this moment right here, when we pause for a second and stop yearning for another moment, stop yearning to know, and just be here fully in the moment, this is enough. That is enlightenment. It is profound. The mind may find the present moment boring. This is why we find ourselves going back into thought. This is why it's important for us to prioritize our state of consciousness. Important for us to prioritize our peace so that we can honor practices that help awaken this. In truth, anything can awaken a shift in consciousness. But there are some that are incredibly helpful, like earthing, taking your shoes off and grounding on the earth, on the grass, the soil, hugging trees, touching trees, being an observation of thought. All of these practices are helpful in awakening our truest essence. Awareness, aware of itself. So whenever we find ourselves yearning for another moment, that is resistance. The yearning, the longing is what's causing the dissatisfaction, the discontentment. It's not the uncertainty. The uncertainty just is. The uncertainty is just what is arising in the moment. It's when we give more awareness, when we pause for a moment, pause peacefully. We pause peacefully, then we bring awareness to the resistance, it dissolves. Same for boredom. Boredom is huge, especially when we talk about overstimulation, getting bored. Boredom just is. Boredom is a desire for stimulation. Boredom is resistance towards nothingness. Whenever you find yourself bored, remind yourself this is the perfect moment to be here fully. You are not the boredom. The boredom is just an idea. It's a conditioned pattern because we're used to always being stimulated, especially nowadays with the evolution of technology. We can remain stimulated as long as we want to. As long as we want to. So it's important to bring awareness to that. You bring awareness to just boredom arises, bring awareness to the emotion and the thought. That will dissolve. That will dissolve. And you'll find yourself being. Doing nothing consciously. Another powerful spiritual practice. I coined that one. Doing nothing consciously. Each and every day, make space for doing nothing consciously. You'll find yourself less bored. You'll find yourself deepening inner stillness. Content in being. Content in not always knowing. Not always needing the answers. No longer searching or seeking, yearning or desiring, but being. Just being. I want to acknowledge too that, it can definitely be, you say, hey, Morcie, easier said than done. Hey, you're right. You're right. I'm there with you. But I'll say this, right? Whenever that idea comes up, just observe it. It's interesting because I understand how the mind goes. I understand how one can say this is difficult. This is hard. And it is. Life is such a paradox because it is difficult. It can be hard. Suffering is heavy. We don't have to suffer, but sometimes that's the path that's necessary in order for us to awaken and to step out of it and just say, I'm over this. I'm done. I choose to be here. I choose to no longer long or desire, to yearn, to know I am okay with not knowing. And you'll find that in that okayness of not knowing, you may receive an answer. Exactly what you need. Now, I'm not saying to be in a space of not knowing, to get to know something, right? Not to do nothing as a means to an end, right? Not making this a means to an end. The simplicity of being okay with not knowing and being there. And being open to what happens or does not happen. Allow yourself to be there so you can play in this world of form. A quote that I enjoy is the quote that I ended up writing as I was journaling, automatic writing was, know yourself as the ocean so you can play as the wave in peace. Know yourself as the ocean so you can play as the wave in peace. See, when we only know ourselves as the wave, we take life too seriously. We take our problems too seriously, attaching on to identity, too much fear and not knowing. Forgetting that all is one. Now, this isn't a passive, the conditioned mind might hear this and say, oh, that's passive. What about the challenges I have in life, the problems that I have in life? When you are aware of both the form and formless, trust that presence will speak to you, speak through you. You'll recognize that you are presence. In whatever situation that you're in, you will know the next step. I'm not here to tell you exactly what to do. I'm here to remind you that in presence, you will receive the answer that you need. It's a matter of bringing awareness and reminding yourself that you are not limited to this form. You're here to play in this form. You're here to have fun. Shoot, I'm taking advantage. I'm having fun. I'm living life. I say this every day. If I die today, know that I lived, y'all. Know that I lived. Of course, there's always going to be more when we talk about the world of form. There's always going to be more to learn. There's always going to be more to build, to grow. That is a part of being here and this human experience, this physical experience, this dense experience. There's always more. We can always build more. We can always make more. There's always more. So it's important for us to recognize ourselves as the ocean so we can play as the wave in peace. Know when to stop sometimes and slow down and take a break. Sometimes when we feel that we need to go faster, it's actually a sign that we need to slow down. As someone who creates often, I've recognized that in honoring the creation and the energy of the creation that has come to me as a channel to be materialized through. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I need to go quicker. Man, I need to upload this clip. I need to upload this video. Nah, it's cool. Just slow down. It's okay. Sometimes when you feel you need to go faster, just slow down. Be here, right? Thought Queen needed it. But anywho, I hope this message may have awakened anything in you. I came into this live with the topic of being okay with not knowing and being okay with not preparing a full message. Like, I don't usually prepare full messages, but sometimes I have points that I like to share with y'all. But this one I was like, you know what? I've been quite busy, and I think it's a great practice to just come on and be like, hey guys, let's chat. Whatever comes to mind. Sometimes we don't know what our next thoughts will be, but when we set intention to direct our creation, to direct our path, the thoughts we need come. This is intuition. One may say trust, but when we're in the space enough, constantly allowing ourselves to be in places and in spaces of uncertainty, it gets easier. But if we are avoiding uncertainty often, we never give ourselves a chance to get used to it. We never give ourselves a chance to find the gift in it. To recognize how this is a catalyst for our personal transformation. It builds character, builds humility, presence. So peace, love, wholeness to the chat. Here now, live number 42. Gratitude to y'all. Let's check up on the chat. Peace and love. I am She-Bee. Good to see ya. Peace and love. Just Sean. Gratitude. Moderator gang. Happy flow day. Hey, happy flow day. I am She-Bee. Ego keeps you separate from oneness. Indeed. Indeed. Know yourself as the ocean, so you play as a wave in peace. Then the ego dissolves. When it dissolves, all we have is conditioned patterns, right? We may be doing the same things we used to do when we were caught up in ego. That's okay. You're aware of yourself as the ocean. Awareness, okay? Awareness. Awareness is everything, y'all. Camille, emotional addiction, indeed. Emotions. When I think of that word, emotional addiction, certain emotions build upon identity. An identity that one may feel very strong in. Personal story, I was chatting with someone the other day and we were talking about tarot. It's so funny because the way we started chatting was I was getting it was a sugar wax. So funny. I always end up finding deeply spiritual people whenever I go do my self-care days. I'm like, oh my gosh, we are meeting, there's not many of us. Okay. I've been learning about that. There's a lot of us, but in day to day, I'm just like, okay, in the understanding of what we're chatting about here in this live. So when, we were walking to the room and the first thing she says to me, she goes, are you aware she mentioned the moon. And I was like, I love the moon. And we started chatting about that. I was like, how did you know, to mention that? And, she was sharing how she was a little afraid of tarot because tarot is so accurate. She would give a reading to herself and it would be so accurate that it scared her and she stopped doing tarot. But she finds herself interested again. And it made me realize when we step into this space of presence and awakening, we must see the mask and the attachment and the identities that we have so strongly identified with. And often it is scary it can be scary when we begin to awaken to the interconnectedness of life. How truly everything's interconnected, how energy, tarot and oracle, those are energy readings. It's simply reading your energy. The cards that you pick and choose, it's reading your exact thoughts. Perhaps you're tapping into different dimensions, realms, your higher self, your spirit guides, your ancestors. You're tapping in. And it's being channeled through a physical form, through a card. And some may find that scary. I release. I find that quite amazing. I am so... What's happening here? Okay, cool. Computer updates. I find that so fun. But I understand. I was awakened to that. I was like, wow, yeah, that's so true. And that's why it's so important to allow everyone to be where they're at their process. Not trying to make anyone go any further than where they are, because you do not want to prematurely awaken to something when you're not ready. This is why I always share to trust in the journey of others. Trust in someone else's journey. They may not see and recognize what you see, but that is for their very unique reason, for their life, their soul's purpose. Some people are here on this planet in Earth and they'll never step into a space that we're in here. They'll never recognize the interconnectedness of life. But that is their journey. That is their soul's purpose. And so it's important to honor everyone's journey as well as honoring your own. And as I evolve as a spiritual teacher, in this lifetime, I have learned to honor others. It's something that I always intend to do in any coaching session or just in a conversation with anyone. I don't even tell people what I do unless they ask. I recognize the depth in this. That's just me. So, yeah, we'll see it. And I think it's important to observe it. If it's in someone else, of course, I like to say, if someone comes up and, you clearly see that their ego is expressing itself to you. That's an opportunity to deepen your presence. An opportunity to not get caught up in their thought stream. Don't get caught up in their energy fields, because it does not feel good. It feels chaotic. It just, if it happens, it happens. It's a learning lesson. But when you're aware enough, presence will speak through you. You'll know what to say. You'll know how to handle the situation. You will know. Trust. Allow presence to speak through you. Presence is ultimately you. So, hey, yeah, peace and love to the chat. I am Shibi. When you live in the past, it keeps you in a loop. You can say that again, right? You learn the same lesson over and over until you recognize, oh my gosh, I'm in a loop. I need to get out of this loop. It's genuinely a loop. Like, I have a funny story. I had back in it was literally New Year's Eve from 2018 to 2019, I had an ego death. And it revealed to me the human experience, in that it revealed how the loops, it's what I experienced. It's not going to, the words won't fully convey it, but I'll try to explain it as best as I can. By the way, this was not sober, but it was a deep, anytime I tap into plant medicine or anything like that, it's always a spiritual experience. I'm sure everyone here can relate. Some people, they don't set intentions for certain things when you're not tapped into spirit. Plant medicine, it's not plant medicine to them. It's something to party. But, for me, I set an intention. I forgot what my intention was, but damn. Let's just say my intention was answered. And so I had an ego death, and this experience showed me how to allow emotions to flow. There was a moment where I was so I couldn't really move. Like, ego deaths literally feel like a death. I thought I was dying. And so, and there was a moment where I was just so surrendered to the moment. I was like, screw it. Like, the eye is gone anyway, whatever. So I started to feel my face. It started to move and started to express different emotions. So I remember my face doing this. It was so weird. So I would feel the emotion of fear. I would feel the emotion of sadness. I would feel like I'm about to cry. Then all of a sudden I would feel happiness. And then I'd feel really happy and start smiling and laughing. And then it would loop again. And I was like, whoa. And if I tried, there was a moment where I felt like I needed to cry, but I tried to stop the crying and it would not let me. It pushed, and all I did was I surrendered to it and I allowed it to flow through me. And then I went on to the next emotion, and I went on to the next emotion. And I was like, obviously in retrospect, I'm able to share this, but in that moment I was like, whoa, I wasn't really sure what happened. And then I started to recognize, this was a couple hours, y'all. Not that happening, but it was a full-on experience. And so then I started to recognize the loop I started to recognize the thoughts in my mind and just how much. So there was thoughts of fear, and then there were thoughts of love, right? And I found that in that place, I found a lot of comfort in the fearful thoughts, that when an intense amount of love came, I was like, I couldn't really take it. I was like not used to it. And it made me realize, like, wow, we do get used to our fears. We do get used to that being a norm. Even when love is offered to us, and we cannot fully experience it because we have felt a sense of comfort in the space of illusion. And so I became conscious of that. And this is what I was saying in my head. I was like, only love is real, only love is real, only love is real. And I started to feel more comfort in the love, right? In that space, some of my deepest, darkest fears were arising. But all I said, what do you see, Queen? Queen, you come here. Come. She's purring. So in that space, I kept telling myself only love is real, because it was an incredible. I can tell you this, I was able to handle that. I don't think the majority of people would not be able to handle that. Genuinely. It was very intense. Like, after that experience, I did not take plant medicine for like 2 years after it, because it provided me with so many lessons, and the experience was so deep that I was just like, even right now, I don't need it. I'm not interested. I get asked about ayahuasca and things like that. I am okay. Like, if anything, I need more grounding than I do like plant medicines that take me off to other dimensions. Like, this is why I talk about present moment awareness and grounding so often. Because it's like, when it comes to other dimensions, I think I'm pretty tapped in. I mean, I'm not saying that I like can see the future and I could see spirits and stuff, but ultimately I think there's this natural affinity towards, higher realms. Like, my upper chakras are open. I have to give a lot of awareness to my lower chakras. That's basically what I'm saying. Everyone's different, Anyways, that experience, I have lots of stories around that experience. I'm sure more will come up. But, obviously, always be safe, be careful. I never, ever in my life, if someone asks me, should they take it, I just say, you have to follow you. I'll never tell anyone yes or no. That is up to you. You have to be ready. You have to intuitively feel called to it. I know how it is. I know when I intuitively feel called to certain things, because every plant medicine that we have, it holds its own consciousness. And when we need to receive the wisdom that it holds, we resonate towards it. If you're unsure of whether you do, that's your opportunity to be in stillness and to determine yes or no. But in my past, I have never, ever, a friend will ask, and I will clearly tell them, I am not going to tell you yes or no. I will tell you that my experiences overall have been good, but simultaneously, I trust myself. And so I know that I'll be grounded and I'll know how to handle the experience, but not everyone will. So that's how I am with things like that. Because everyone's different, and you do not know what's going to happen. Like, you want to talk about uncertainty? The moment you allow plant medicine to go into your system, you better surrender. Because the more you try to control, the experience is going to be the worst. Anything you practice in your day-to-day, observing thoughts, not getting absorbed in thought, surrendering, gratitude, heart-centeredness, any of those things, take that moment to utilize it, or, whatever your experience is. But once again, I share my experience, y'all. Don't go anywhere and be like, Morcie said this, because I did not, because I know how those things are. And you got to be ready. You got to be grounded and rooted in being. That's what I always say. All right. Peace and love to the chat. We got Queenie in the house. Queenie Needy Beanie. Because this live, she's wanted my attention like more than every other live. Right, Queen?
Right, puppy? Yes, yes. Yes, yes, okay.
Yes. You went through the same, I am Shibi? You know. Shift in consciousness happened to me last summer, so I feel everything you're saying. Peace and love. Peace, love, wholeness. Chris, hey, I watched your old live by accident. I'm here now. You also learn when you teach, I feel. Welcome, Chris. It's all good. Indeed, anything you teach, anyone here, we are all teachers in many ways. It may not be formal in this way, but we are always teaching, you know? And know this, the words you speak, they flow through you. That energy, it flows through you. I've learned how powerful words are, right? Thoughts, emotions, they're all energy. The more you talk about and you share something, right, it becomes a part of your energy field. This is why it's so important to be aware of your environment, self-awareness, you know? I get so many questions on just the darkness of this world, right? One may say conspiracy theories, things like that. And I'm not here to say whether things are right or wrong. I get into that too, y'all. I'm a researcher. But I've learned while being in that space, while there is a lot of evidence and, hey, there's probably immense truth in many of it, you need to be rooted in being. Because I've seen those who constantly talk about that and they are paranoid. They're not happy. They're filled with fear. When you speak to them and talk to them, I deeply sense their fear in this world. And for me, I know as an individual, like as a soul incarnating in this place, whatever we want to call it, all right? I know I did not come here for that. Regardless of if it's real or if it's happening, I didn't come here to live in fear. I know and I recognize that I'm a powerful being, right? Tapping my heart center. Only thing is real is love. Presence speaks through me, moves through me, right? Danger is real, fear is not. When we're in a space of fear, we are so easily manipulated. We end up being the exact subject for whatever it is that we might be speaking out against. You end up being the exact subject because of your fear, your lack of stability, emotional stability, your lack of self-awareness. So it's important to be rooted in being when researching these things, right? So this is what I share, you know, whenever someone asks me about, be like, hey, I'm a conspiracy theorist or things like that. I'm like, all right, cool. Just whatever you do, do it in peace, okay? We all have different purposes for being here on this planet, you know, and I know there's people who came here. They came here to talk about and discover that. I came here to remind y'all of inner peace. And I'm also very aware of those things. But I also choose to prioritize my peace and state of consciousness when something must be in my awareness, when it is the moment for me to do whatever it is. Presence speaks through me. I trust in that. But always remember, I remind y'all, you're powerful beings. Stay tapped into your heart center. Okay? And be aware. I can sense fear in people very easily. And that also comes too from sensing the fear in myself, you know. So I don't say this in terms of like, I know everything, but I say it in, this is how I choose to engage in the world, so I don't get sucked into someone else's thought pattern, because that can happen when we're not aware enough, you know? BRB. Queen. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Chris started Zazen today. Meditation, just sitting without anything, being okay with being. Ah, all right. Very nice. Yes. I find that that's like my primary way of meditation. Primary for sure. And just so important to an overstimulated mind at the very least. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Chris. Doing nothing consciously. Peace and love, Zen. Welcome to the chat. Jaden, much love to you. Good to see you in the chat. Welcome back. Here now, live number 42. Camille, oh my God, Morse. Yeah, that experience was quite deep, y'all. Quite necessary. I needed it. It was necessary. Did you have a similar experience, Camille? I've never been able to express my experience. That's the crazy thing, too. It's like we have these experiences, but we often don't have the words because, once again, many times these experiences are like beyond that. And it's like, but yeah. I'm Shibi. I never desire plant meds. I'm good and completely present. There you go. Listen, do you, boo. Do you. Because that's how definitely it's where I'm at. Besides, I feel like I have a connection with Mother Marijuana. I haven't had it in quite a while. I go into phases. So it's very easy for me to just stop because I always do it intentionally and continuously. That plant medicine speaks to me continuously, and you don't need that much. Also, you really don't need that much. I mean, for me, you don't need that much. But yeah, other than that, like I really don't. There's nothing else. Presence is everything. Like, especially now, the more I'm deep in awareness, there's no, I don't even need like Mother Marijuana, I call it Mother Marijuana because, it's fire. And it's been such a teacher. Anything can be your teacher. Life can be your teacher. Darkness, stillness, silence, your challenges, they all can be your teacher, When you live through life, recognizing that any and everything can be your teacher, right? You're on top of the world. You're grounded. You're centered. You're not allowing yourself to fall into ego, So, yeah, but also, I want to state here too. I say, hey, I don't want to take certain medicines, but don't feel shame if you did. Obviously, I did, okay? And if you don't, cool. But once again, right, we all came here for various and different reasons. There's people who come on this planet and literally they're always taking it, and they have so many amazing things to share. So once again, honor yourself, honor your authenticity, be aware, stay rooted in being, all right? And do you. I'm just an example of me sharing my experiences, what I've learned from them, when I need them, when I don't, who knows? I just say where I am right now. Presence is everything. But if there's ever a moment where, I feel myself drawn to something, then I honor it. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, another present moment. And all I know is to allow presence to speak through me. Many times we have experiences, and those experiences end up being teachings for somebody else. So, yeah, there goes my spiel. Be aware and present. Dare. What's dare? How do you... Dare is, that's what I thought, the don't do drugs thing. But anyways, yeah. We know it's real. We understand the interconnectedness of life. Allow yourself to flow. Be. Remain rooted in being. Yes, I am Shibi. Oh my greatness. Yes, words have meaning. I choose words carefully and understand the power. Y'all, oh my gosh. The power of words. I don't think I would have ever recognized the depth of words had I not tapped into my purpose of teaching. Teaching awakens me. Genuinely. It is a major factor, if not the primary factor of my awakening. Words are everything, y'all. And also, I'll share on a personal experience that I find myself, I'm not afraid to explore things because I trust myself. Like, I can go down rabbit holes and bring myself back, even though sometimes the experiences are crazy. I trust myself. So I've been able to experience with like playing around with different words and things like that. And I truly feel the difference. But if, you ever fall into a space, because this is often inevitable in our process where we're here because many of us, we deal with the negative thoughts that arise within the mind, right? Those arise within my mind, right? And a big reason as to why I continue to teach present moment awareness all the time. And it's really just a matter of if you end up expressing it, you end up saying certain words that, it does not align with the vibration of what you truly intend. Once again, trust your journey. You have the tools. You're here and here now live. You are aware right now. Once you know, y'all. Once you know, you know. Once you know, you suffer different. You don't suffer the same as once you want the way you suffered before. Suffering may not completely come to a halt, but I assure you that you might suffer a lot less, right? When I say you suffer different, you awaken within that suffering. You don't suffer as it may not be as deep, it may not be as long, it may not be as intense anymore, but it's there. And that's okay, because the more present you are with it, the more and less it arises within your life, right? So once again, honor where you are, honor your point in your life. That is what you need in the moment. It's what you need. Maybe there's a moment you don't feel grateful. Guess what? That's what you need. Maybe there's a moment you are just like so sick of life and you're just like, I don't care about anything I just learned. Morcie shared to accept the moment as it is. I don't want to accept the moment as it is. Vibe with it, y'all. Vibe with that. Guess what? Then you just accept the moment as it is by vibing with it. So, or just, just resist. Do you guys get what I mean here? The lighting here is like, honor where you are, because that's exactly what you need. That is where wisdom flows through you. You don't need to be anywhere else besides where you are right now in this moment. That's it. Adrian, peace and love, Adrian. Good to see you in the chat. Welcome. Saw you live but forgot to join. No worries. You are here now. Camille, very, very similar. Okay. Mama marijuana, mother marijuana. Jason, I personally never experienced plant meds, but hearing everyone's insights on them, very interesting. Yeah. I enjoy listening to everyone's stories because every story is so unique. It's so unique. It broadens perspective on our experiences. I've listened to people's stories on like ayahuasca and stuff. They go to Peru and there's a shaman and insane experiences. So yeah, it's fun. Stories are fun. Chris, yes, also helps when you have chosen your words well. To be okay with someone when someone receives them a different way. Can only do your best and no control of what someone wants to hear. Cheers to that. That's presence, Simultaneously, that's heart-centeredness. That's how I see it, right? Allowing yourself to express yourself with genuine intention. In that moment, that is how you need to express yourself. So express yourself, and how someone else chooses to receive it, that is out of your control. At the very least, you followed your intuition. You expressed yourself authentically. So peace and love to that. Thank you for sharing, Chris. Camille going crazy today. I love the. I know. I was not, y'all. I was not planning on telling you guys about my plant medicine experiences. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, no, maybe I should share this. I will say though, those experiences and also the experiences or the shift in awareness where there was absolutely nothing. Those have been profound factors in what I share. The insights, the teachings, the inspirations, profound. Especially the one where I had a shift in consciousness and there was absolutely no plant medicine involved. That was awakening for me, and it set the tone for me. And I can tell you too, I wanted to share this, that often we might have a shift in consciousness when we go through deep suffering. These are stories like, for example, my favorite spiritual teacher, Eckhart. His very profound shift in consciousness was through intense suffering, right? The shift in consciousness that was my experience, or, that I received, was through, I would say, relaxation. I was just relaxed, and I didn't have to try. I was not expecting that. I was relaxed in the moment, rested in the moment. I was enjoying something I love, which is tennis. I love watching tennis. And that's another reason why I find that I'm naturally sharing information about recognizing inner peace, because this is another aspect. There perhaps one may have the shift in intense suffering, perhaps another may have it in relaxation and the recognition of inner peace, right? Or maybe it'll just like happen while you're walking down the street. I don't know. Okay. But, I'd like to share once again, this is why the more we honor where we are right now, we give presence to this moment entirely. That's enlightenment, y'all. Talk about peaceful pauses. To be fully aware of this moment, just aware, the wholeness of it. No attachment to thought. Perhaps the recognition that thoughts are arising and falling, but no need to make them go away. No need for resistance. That is an enlightening. That's enlightenment. Yeah. Enlightenment can honestly be, the mind can make it out to be something you have to reach, you have to climb mountains, you have to go to another continent, you have to escape humans. No, you're exactly where you need to be this moment. Often too, when this was a story that I heard, so I'm telling a story of a story right now. But there was an individual who went away to like a Buddhist monastery or somewhere where this individual was away from humanity and away from, us, like where we are, like being around people and perhaps unconsciousness, individuals who are unaware of a formless dimension. It was very easy in that space. It's very easy in a space where you're alone and there aren't many factors to distract you or disturb you. It's quite easy to be in a state of stillness, spaciousness, silence. But then you'll find yourself, what happened to this individual is that this individual experienced immense presence while away, but when this individual had to go into the city, and I think it's a he. I think he had to like go to the DMV, like something with license, and it was taking long. That was a moment where he was starting to feel resistance, stress, all of those experiences that we feel in spaces where there's people, right? This individual started to feel challenges. And so it goes to show that when you are faced with challenges, that is the perfect opportunity to deepen your presence. Going away and hiding away, you might experience something, but it won't stay the same, because Now you must integrate that into day-to-day life, into communing with others, being in communities, into engaging with others and talking to people and learning how to deal with those who are unconscious, right? And yeah, stress will arise, overwhelm will arise, perhaps reactivity will arise. But those are the best places to be, right? It's the best place to be. I get a lot of questions around, like, I think it's typically, those who are living with their family members, right? Our family members, oh my God, the greatest test of time. They will let you know how awakened you are, okay? And often so much challenge, and I'll get questions around like, I want to leave, I want to move, what do I do? And I say, you know what? I say, where you are is exactly where you need to be. This is not to say that you don't make the necessary steps you need to move out, maybe to move out of your town or your city or whatever you feel that inclination to do, whatever you feel your purpose to do. It doesn't mean you don't do that, but what it means is that you allow this moment to be your practice. Allow this moment to deepen your sense of presence, not even your sense, deepen into presence, recognizing yourself as presence, right? Allow that moment to be your teacher. And you'll find that you're having a different experience in your home. You'll find that you are not constantly being, I would say, affected by someone else's energy field, someone else's thoughts or emotions, someone else's actions. And your family is your greatest teacher. Indeed, they are. I'm telling you. So, hey, if you feel called to, go away and be in the middle of nowhere and access that, that's for you. It's just a reminder that once you enter back into this world of society, remain rooted in being, because but there's nothing that's set in front of you can't get through, right? Doesn't mean challenges are gone. It just means you know how to maneuver through them. You know how to transmute energy. You know how to no longer make that challenge a challenge. The problem is no longer a problem. It's just a happening that comes with awareness, deepening of presence. Today's live is really good. They all are. But love the stories and feeling so free. Cheers to that, Chris. This live is all about being okay and not knowing. And I set the intention to just come here and chat with y'all about not knowing. And it just so happens to be a favorite live. So I'm learning too. Powerful. I am Shibi. Do you ever listen to people who had near-death experiences? So I haven't met anyone in person, but I have listened to stories of people who shared it online or of other people who interviewed people. Profound. Absolutely profound. Like their experience of saying, they met God, how they experienced God. They said they experienced extreme love, like an intense love. Is very similar like to my ego death. And yeah, so I haven't listened to any in a while, but I have. And it's profound. Absolutely profound. Thank you all for joining me in this chat. I really enjoyed this too. For those here who may have missed the announcements in the beginning, Peaceful Pauses, the meditation course, will be out in 2 weeks. I feel so grateful to be able to share this with you all. I feel grateful to be a part of the creation process. I want to let you know that pre-orders are open. If you pre-order before the launch date, you get a 20% discount, as well as a free exclusive guided meditation on deepening into stillness. So I highly encourage you to take advantage of this offer and get your spot locked in. It's a beautiful experience, a beautiful journey. The course includes 3 video guides, 7 inspirational messages, 7 guided meditations. They're videos, and you'll receive them in a transcript as well as a downloadable MP3. And there will also be a 3-part podcast series on there. So it's a whole program, and I'm so just, words can't describe how grateful I am to be able to share this with y'all, and to be here at this point, So check it out. The link is down below. You'll probably receive an email tomorrow. Yeah, you will receive an email tomorrow explaining it. And if you have not, be sure to check out the ebook, The Peaceful Pauses, The Calm Beyond the Overstimulated Mind. Check out the ebook. And yeah, I know I mentioned too, I want to share with everyone here that all of them will be in nature. Just the nature connection one will be in nature. The other ones will not. But either way, it reminds, no matter where you are, you can be in nature, you can be in your room, it doesn't matter. You can recognize inner peace. Of course, nature has a powerful energy field, which you'll learn, we'll chat about a lot in the course. But yeah, this course is truly for those who are ready to awaken, recognize that you are the calm beyond the overstimulated mind. You are the calm. We chat about form and formless, the form and formless dimensions, So, yeah, check out the course. Make sure you register. You get your spot. You get your exclusive guided meditation. You get the discount. And yeah, join me in this journey. Join me. Peaceful Pauses, join me. Water infused with lemon. That's been the vibe lately, y'all. I always have different drinks. Sometimes I'll have jasmine tea. You notice that I do not have hot drinks anymore because it is so hot outside. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Okay, I get it. You go into the space, present in the moment, it doesn't matter. It is just the temperature. You see me in my avatar state right now. No, y'all, it's hot outside. So, literally, I'm pretty sure there was like a heat warning to stay, like, don't go outside, to just like be outside from the time of like, I think 11 and maybe like 4 or 5. It's really hot outside. So I've been drinking more cooler things. It's summer. I was realizing here in Florida, if you live in Florida, you vacation in Florida, you'll notice that it is extremely hot, and simultaneously it is always raining. It is always raining. All right. I went out to go hiking the other day. I was like, biggest mistake of my life. The mosquitoes were this big. It was ridiculous. I was like, nope. Thank you. Thank you, Mother Nature. You have truly shown me that Mother Nature cannot be controlled. I am out. It was so hot. It had just finished raining, so the mosquitoes were out. And it was an experience. Like, talk about deepening presence. That in that moment, I had to deepen my presence. I had to deepen. Oh my gosh. I had to be like, you know what? I'm not going to complain, because I know if I complain, it's going to make it worse. So I don't typically get involved in that. But, sometimes life challenges you and you're just like, oh my God. So yeah, that happened. So yeah, it's been extremely hot outside, and nature is to be enjoyed when we rise and while the sun is setting. That's just me. Other than that, I will enjoy nature from the AC of my room, in my office, in my home. Oops. Okay, I'll check out that song. And I love Earth, Wind, and Fire, so... Oops. I'm going to write it down real quick. It's called Fantasy. I wonder if I've heard it before. Chris, ego deaths are so strange. I think I had something like that. Mine is quite fresh, New Year's. But I realize now it was needed, and attachments are becoming loosened, becoming more open. Indeed. Thank you for sharing. Camille, you've had a few near-death experiences? Wow. Or you know people, you've listened to people, because that's profound if you've had a few. Like a few. That's profound. Glad you're here, by the way. If you did. The Uva Grape, welcome. Welcome to Here Now Live. Good to see you in the chat. It's hot in North Carolina. Oh, yeah. I can definitely say because, I've traveled along the East Coast a lot. Maryland, D.C., Georgia, Carolinas. It gets really hot. Oh, my God. So, yeah. I'm sending you a cool breeze, I am Shibi. And everyone here, a cool breeze. Camille, yeah, I stopped with my hot teas. Once the fall comes, we'll invite the hot tea back. As of right now, I think my body needs to cool down. Florida will give you a pop-up moon sun at any time. Let me tell you. And it's hurricane season. So the moment June to November is hurricane season. So you live here. I was born and raised here. You know. Hey, nature's in the mind too. That's a great point, just Sean. Cheers to that state of being. You know what that reminds me of? When we see these beautiful pictures of tropical paradise, and there's people who are like, I want to go there. I realize I live in Florida. I see palm trees all the time. Love them. It's a state of mind for sure, because you can go to a tropical place, but you may not fully remain in the relaxing state. It's truly a state of mind. Nature is a state of mind. Tropical it truly is a state of mind, ultimately. Jason, 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh my God, bless your heart. Yeah, I was driving the other day. I think it was yesterday. 99 degrees. 105 is crazy though. Oh my God, I'm sending all of y'all a cool breeze. Everyone's gonna go listen to fantasy now. Camille. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. I was shot at and also 2 car accidents that were not my fault. Car totaled both times. My scars from the included a scratch on my head, sprained ankle driving. Wow. Sending you much love, Camille. I am so grateful that you're here. What a profound experience. Wow. You're meant to be here. Near-death experiences opened you up to a lot. Wow. No wonder. No wonder you have such profound insight to share. I'm telling you. Very grateful for you. Thank you for sharing. I'm sending you so much love, peace, wholeness. This is why I tell y'all, I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful you're here. We all have so much to share. We are all teachers in so many ways. And life gifts us with so many lessons, even the lessons that in the moment we're like, why me? Why me? And in those spaces, I share with myself, what if it were me who chose it? If it were you who chose that? How would that shift your perspective? There's actually depth to that too. There's a book. I'm pretty sure it's on my book list. You should check it out. If anyone, actually, this is a good book recommendation I'd like to share with y'all. It's called Your Soul's Purpose. Hold on. It's by Robert something. I read it like the beginning of my awakening process. Okay, here we go. Robert Schwartz. I highly recommend Camille. I think if you haven't read this book, Camille, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. So, the book is called Your Soul's Plan. Discovering the real meaning of the life you planned before you were born. And here's what it, so would you like to understand the deeper spiritual meaning of physical illness, parenting, handicap, children, drug addiction, alcoholism, the death of loved ones, accidents, deafness, blindness? Your Soul's Purpose explores the premise that we are all eternal souls who plan our lives, including our greatest challenges before we are born for the purpose of spiritual growth. Through compelling profiles of people who knowingly planned the experiences mentioned above, Your Soul's Plan shows that suffering is not purposeless, but rather imbued with deep meaning. Working with 4 gifted mediums, author Robert Schwartz reveals the significance of each person's life plan and allows us a fascinating look into the other side. I read that entire book front to back. I did not skip a beat with it. It was profound. It allowed me to be grounded. This book inspired me to recognize that there is purpose to everything that arises in our path. Simultaneously, it opens up space to feel for others. Empathy, heart-centeredness, compassion. A recognition that, yes, life can feel so tough in many ways. Here, let me write it out for y'all. It's also, if you check, it's also in my book list link, in my book list. So check it out in there because it's in there. So it's called, Your Soul's Plan. Discovering the real meaning of the life you planned before you were born. Robert Schwartz. Bam. Your soul's plan. Discovering the real meaning of the life you plan. Yes. Highly, like, to anyone in this chat, anyone just watching this, if you've ever questioned the intense experiences you've ever had in your life, this book will awaken you. And it will open up channels in yourself. It will, I will say, it helped allow energy to flow through me. If I can keep it like that. If I can say it like that. Gratitude, yeah. He used a lot of mediums. Oh my God. I actually feel like, because when I read that book, I ended up reading little parts of it again because it was so good. But anyway, it's going to shift your perspective. It will shift your perspective on the world we live in, on life itself. Especially now, y'all, you're in the space, present moment awareness, Grounded, y'all. So very true. We plan our life for arriving. Our consciousness is erased upon arrival. So you truly can awaken to your purpose during your stay here on Earth School. Hence the many incarnations. Indeed. Yes, yes, yes. We come here. So based on what this book shares, okay, I'm going to say this, all right? In truth, our consciousness was erased, right? So all I can say is this. I can't tell someone 100% this because I can't say that I have had the direct experience, but all I can say is I feel deeply drawn to it. And it awakens aspects of me. And when I hear it, it makes my life better. It makes me feel less confused, more grounded in the moment. So for me, I feel that I'm drawn to it. In just so many ways. So I share this, because it's helped me so much. And because I find that in many ways I am too a medium. And many of us here, we may not know it, but y'all are mediums too. You may not know it fully. You may not have awakened to your psychic gifts fully. But if you're here in the space, you have a psychic gift. You do. You do. I'm just going to put it out there. You do. Read the book, y'all. Tell me how you liked it. It was so in depth. Like it said, you literally picked the school you went to. You picked your parents. You pick your children. You pick the state and the country you're born in. You pick all of that before you're born. You pick all of it. And then you incarnate here. And then you go through your day to day. Yeah, it's on my book list. So check out the link. It's in the book list. It's one of the books there. Just Sean, answering your question. Much love. I am Shibi. Much love. Yep, we're channeler. Y'all, you don't know when you're channeling. You won't really realize it sometimes. But the more you become intentional about it, then you'll start being more aware. Like, oh, okay. Definitely, y'all. For sure. Powerful book, y'all. Book drop. Book drop. I love reading about books where there are people who are channeling or mediums and they start like channeling from different dimensions. I love that. It's so cool. It's so cool. But yeah. Glad I could be of service for y'all. Yeah, Jashawn, if you don't see it there, let me know. But it should definitely be there. Let me check right now. Because I'm pretty sure I remember that. Hold on. I'm going to double check. Okay, you found it? Thank you. Because I know I put that, because that book was one of the first books that I read. I had it in my Amazon. I bought it in 2019, and that was the year, like, I would say my awakening, my conscious awakening, what started in 2018. So 2019 was a 2019 was a year for me, y'all. But 2019 I was in it, and that book was one of the first. And I went through it. I was just so, like, I was reading it, and every page, I kept going. I was like, so yeah. All right, peace and love to the chat. I got your song, I Am Sheepy. I'm going to listen to it. Oh, you've seen him. Okay, I haven't seen Robert Schwartz, like, in person. I haven't seen him, and I just read his book, but she'll check him out. I'm sure he has great wisdom. I'm sure, because that book was awesome. In the chat, let me know. What are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for? Gratitude, the channel into this very moment. Jason, grateful for this community. Chris, grateful for life. I'm grateful for everything that happened for me. Grateful for now. And Cookies, Just Sean. Shout out Cookies. I'm grateful for the space. I'm grateful for what came out of this space. Like, wow. We came in here. You know what I want to say? Grateful for uncertainty. I had no clue that this would be one of my favorite lives. Listen, I love all the lives, but sometimes we have favorites, okay? And this one, it really was an example of what arises out of uncertainty, what arises out of space, the expansion, the wisdom, the channeling, authentic expression. So much gratitude. I am Shibi. Gratitude for my productive gardens on Mama Earth. Squash, zucchini, cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, potatoes, butter beans, string beans. I felt that. That reminded me of that song that they make every Thanksgiving, the strings, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, that one. But shout out to gardens. Shout out to fruits and veggies. Shout out to Mother Earth. I will never ever get over the fact that in every vegetable there are countless seeds to reproduce. We can, and all it takes is to plant that seed in the dirt. Obviously, there's many ways to cultivate your garden, but sometimes all it takes is, I was reading a book. This was a fictional book, back when I was like elementary. I don't remember. Elementary. I was a kid, and the main character in the book, had like cantaloupe seeds, and the main character, it was like a kid, just threw the cantaloupe seeds in the parents' front yard, and then they went on vacation. And when they came back, there was a whole, I think it was cantaloupe. All I know, it was like a vine vegetable, and they came back. It could have been watermelon or squash or something, but they came back and there was an abundance of it in the front yard. Like, I will never get over the fact that this is life and the beauty of it and the abundance that is here, y'all. When I'm sure many of us are on this vibration. I release. If ever you get a space, you have a space, whenever you feel called, I highly recommend to have your own garden. I release. Even if it's in a little pot or something like that, experience it, do it. I was a part of a community garden, and that was one of the greatest experiences of my life. So, shout out, I am Shibi, and your wonderful garden. Sending that garden so much love. This live is fire. This one was heavy. Love it, indeed. Yo. Yeah, this one was deep, y'all. It's not like the other ones aren't deep, but some just hit different. Kale and cabbage. Oh my God, yes. You know what? You know what too is really good to grow? Turnips. Turnip greens. Oh my gosh. I love turnip greens. And in my community garden, we grew collards, turnips. I had cucumbers too. Oh my God. Cucumbers were so fun to grow. I seem like in the garden, yeah, I would always we'd have the little folding, forgot what is there. So it's like this, and then you put the seeds in the dirt, and then the cucumbers grow on it, and then it's a yellow flower. It's a tiny little cucumber with a little flower, then the flower falls, and the cucumber gets bigger. And in the community garden, we had this, I call it an energy exchange, but there was someone who would come in and would set up a beehive in a very, in an area towards the back. There were bees there for sure. And the bees, man, bees work hard, yo. The bees, I have to say, were a huge part in how successful this community garden was, because each time I went to visit my plot, there was always bees pollinating the flowers, the flowers that will grow from all of the veggies and stuff. I'd see them pollinating the cucumbers and just everything. Butterflies were out there, moths, all the pollinators were out there. If you had me on Instagram back in 2019, you would see all of my videos. Maybe I'll do some repost and show you all that. Spring and fall turnips, yeah, because summer is, I can share, and you have turnips too. Beautiful garden, I am Shivi. Love it. Yeah, in the summer, the community garden where I was, I did not go out there. No one did. Summer was the time where we let our beds rest. So I would say around January, February, March, April, May, probably around May, we would just begin harvesting the rest of our veggies, and we'd turn over the soil and we'd cover it, let it be, and then we'd wait for the fall again, because summer was just You didn't want to be out there. I'm sure you can grow a lot of stuff, but you did not want to be out there in that hot sun. I know I didn't. So it was a good because it allows the bed to rest, and it gives everyone a little break. I miss that garden. I'm going to visit soon. It's 4 hours away from me, so I moved. Bees are plentiful here. Much love to the bees. Much love to the bees. There's some hard workers. Indeed. Shout out to the bees. I'm grateful for bees. I'm grateful for the bees. The butterflies, the moths. You know, moths are pollinators too. You know, they may not get as much, attention. But bees, butterflies, moths, they're all pollinators. Shout out to y'all. I am so filled with love and gratitude. Every life is so necessary. So, wherever you are, join me in this gratitude ritual as we take a moment of space to be here in this moment, shedding light on all that we are grateful for. You can grab a palo santo. You can grab an incense, a sage. You can take a sip of your drink. You can take a deep breath. You can just be however it is that you would like to join in this moment of space. So much gratitude to all of you, each and every one of you. I see you. I hear you. Thank you for being here. Cheers. Thank you all for joining me in that moment of space. It was so nice. I've been chatting quite a bit, so my head's kind of throbbing. Once again, thank you all for being here. Not just being here in the Here Now live space, but thank you for being here on this planet. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your resilience. Thank you for your willingness to get through your challenges, to transmute energy, to transmute fear into wisdom, suffering into empathy and compassion. Thank you, thank you. Your energy is felt. Thank you for your stories and your insights. This space is so necessary. This space is the new earth. We are the new earth. We may not recognize it, but the energy field of this space, it's making a difference in the collective. So thank you for being a part of the space. Thank you for healing yourself. When you heal yourself, you heal others. Thank you for your recognition of both the form and the formless. Thank you for your patience with unconsciousness, your awareness of it, and your willingness to not be reactive. Willingness. Once again, secure your spot in the here now. Secure your spot, the Peaceful Pauses meditation course. Make sure you grab that ebook. And yeah, I invite you all to join me in this meditation. Much love, Camille. Thank you for sharing. That was powerful what you shared today. Absolutely powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Wherever you are, find yourself in a comfortable position. You can sit upright like myself, feet planted firmly on the ground, hands in your lap. You may lie down. You may sit with your legs folded, spine straight. Whatever position is most comfortable for you in the moment, and simultaneously allows you to be alert and aware. So you may join me on this journey of being. Wherever you are, take a moment to just be here, giving your fullest awareness to the space around you and the space within you. Take this moment to bring your fullest awareness to the natural inhalation and exhalation of your breath. Allow that to be your only focus. Take this moment to scan your inner body, bringing awareness to any tension within the body. Relaxing your eyebrows, forehead, your jaw, your neck. This tension is identification with form held within the body. When you release this tension, identification with form dissolves, bringing your fullest awareness to presence. When you're finished, be still and bring awareness to what it feels like to have released that tension. Take one conscious breath in, breathing in presence. Take one conscious breath out, letting go of attachment. Take one conscious breath in, breathing in peace. And one conscious breath out, letting go of tension. Often when we find ourselves uncomfortable in uncertainty, it's a sign of our discomfort with stillness, silence, and spaciousness. It's a sign of just how the mind is looking to always be identified with form, identified with thoughts, emotions, the body, material objects. And when we bring our fullest awareness to space, we'll find more comfort in uncertainty. We find comfort in not knowing. Awareness that presence will always speak through us. Often with an overstimulated mind, thoughts of boredom arise. A need to do something, and a resistance towards nothingness. Take this moment to bring your fullest awareness towards nothingness, towards the gaps of space between thought. Being okay with being here, still, just being. in the space of pure awareness. There is no attachment to labels or identity. Perhaps this may have been the refuge you may need it all day. For some, this experience is completely new. Sometimes in this space, it can feel quite scary for those who are only used to identifying with form. But the more we invite this into our lives, we feel fulfilled. We feel enough, whole and complete. What a joy it is to not be attached to labels. What a joy it is to not be attached to identity, emotions, thoughts, beliefs, experiences. What a joy to know that you are far beyond them. The space in which all events happen. The realm of pure consciousness. Presence. What a joy it is to observe and notice thoughts rise and fall. To notice emotions rise and fade. What a joy to know that you are still here. Wherever you go, know that you can access the state of consciousness anytime, any moment. Choose to pause, stop what you're doing, and acknowledge the wholeness of the moment. Thank yourself for this practice. Thank yourself for stepping in a space where you are no one, nothing to prove, no identity to protect. Open your eyes. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And be here. I'm sending you all peace. I'm sending you all love, wholeness. Live in a state of gratitude.